On A days, we're going to begin with our insert, which is going to be 50 bicycle crunches. I'm sure that you girls are already familiar with this, but I'll show you a bicycle crunch very quickly. Like you're bicycling, your feet is where the bicycle comes from, essentially. And I always try to get my elbows to touch opposite. It's probably supposed to be outside of the knee, but I don't usually do that, honestly. So again, just in a crunch, when your left knee comes up, your right elbow is going towards the outside as much as possible. I guess I hit it on the outside most of the time. Each one counts for 1, and we're doing 50 of those. All right, on the Tabata for day 1, the Tabata is plank holds and jacks to jumps. So you'll do your first Tabata, it's just each of them are 20 seconds. So your first part is plank hold, so you'll hold it for 20 seconds, again keeping your core engaged, your whole center of your body should be super straight, as straight as possible. You don't want your butt up in the air, and you definitely don't want to be arching your back. So you want to keep your body nice and straight here. Same thing for your neck, you shouldn't be looking up like I'm doing. Try to keep it nice and neutral, not straight. Do your 20 seconds on, 10 seconds of rest. You can do whatever with your rest, it's only 10 seconds. The next exercise that you'll do is jacks to jumps. So after your 20 seconds of plank hold and 10 seconds of rest, we're going to go into jacks to jumps. Basically this is holding that nice tight core all the way up in like a push-up position. You're going to jump, and then it's kind of like a jumping jack, and then your feet go out. So your feet come back together. Again, from the original plank, you bring your feet in, just tuck. You don't have to stand up, the arms don't leave the ground, nothing like that. Go back and out. So it should be pretty quick. Try to get in as many as you can in the 20 seconds. After the 20 seconds are up, you get another 10-second break, and then you go straight into another plank hold. 20 seconds on, 10 seconds rest, then back to the jacks to jumps. And it just cycles through for 4 minutes. All right, Metcon A. This is for 6 rounds. It's 21 jumping jacks, 15 hollow rocks, and 9 push-ups. So I'm going to quickly go through each of those. 21 jumping jacks are pretty easy. Just standing, kind of like the jacks to jumps we just did. Your feet are coming apart, feet back together. Easy enough. For hollow rocks, so things to keep in mind, try to not have your dog next to you, that stinks, that's a good tip. So anyways, for hollow rocks, it's going to be laying back on the ground. You want to basically keep your feet pretty close to the ground and keep your arms pretty close to the ground. Nothing's really trying to leave the ground much. You want to push your belly button towards the ground as much as possible. So you're trying to get a nice flat back up against the mat or whatever you're doing exercises on. So this is like kind of like making a bowl and then rocking yourself. So everything's going to come up just a little bit. Keep your core super engaged and just rock. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can count when your feet are up or when your hands are up, whichever direction you want to count, but each rock counts as 1. Each full rock back and forth counts as 1. Go away. The last movement are push-ups. I know everyone knows how to do this, but just as a review to keep things in mind for those of you who are doing this at home by yourself. For your push-ups, if you'd like to start with your knees on the ground, just make sure that your whole core is straight. So everything from your knees to your shoulders still needs to be straight. So you need to space yourself out appropriately so that that can happen. So you don't want to run, same thing, you don't want to curve your back, you don't want your butt up in the air, you want everything there to be super straight. For push-ups, make sure that your chest goes all the way to the ground. So you want to hit all the way down, keep your elbows super close, you don't have to release your hands, just touch the ground and come back up. So you'll do 21 jumping jacks, 19 of those hollow rocks, and then 9 push-ups. When you're finished with that, you do another round, then another round, and another round for 6 rounds. So that's Metcon A. All right, insert B. So on B days, we're going to be doing the side-to-side foot taps. These are super easy, so we're going to do 50 of them every time. If you feel like it's too easy and you can do more, just go ahead and double that. So you can go 100. Basically, for the foot taps, you'll be laying back in almost like a sit-up position, but not butterfly. Just have your feet on the ground. You want your feet to be pretty close to you because you need to be able to reach them, not from laying. We are going to use our core to turn towards each side, basically. So you're going to pull yourself up and over to tap your foot on either side. Try to do your 50 unbroken. So even if you don't want to double it and do 100, do your 50 unbroken, so without stopping. Don't take pauses in those. You really should be able to tap, tap. It's just a tiny little core twist. So you should be able to do those side-to-side foot taps pretty easily. Insert B. Insert B is 50 reps of everything. So 50 squats, 50 flutter kicks, 50 side jumps. And then you're going to go to 40 squats, 40 flutter kicks, 40 side jumps. So I'm going to show you each one of those, and then you go to 30, and then 20, and 10. That's what the 50, 40, 30, 20, 10 thing was. So first one was squats. For good squat position, most of us already know this. Keep your feet a comfortable distance apart. If they need to be a little bit wider, if you're just starting, that's fine. I think the biggest thing when you're just starting is to point your toes out a little. This is something I did not do well when I first started CrossFit. When I got to Montgomery even, they kind of got onto me because I didn't put my knees out far enough. So anyways, your knees need to be heading outwards. So if you need to turn your toes to make that happen, so that your knees go out, make that happen. That makes a much stronger squat. So anyways, we're going to put our feet hip-width-ish distance apart. So our feet are just apart a little bit. You're going to squat as far down as you can, at least parallel with the ground. If you can go lower, go lower. And you come back up, open up the hips completely. So on that, you can't just, don't do a lazy squat where you're just like, and you're not actually straightening out. So make sure that as you go all the way down and all the way up, that you open up at the top. And you can see I even kind of like pop my hips just out of habit. So make sure that it's very clear that your hips open up at the top, squeeze your butt and back, and just engage everything. After the squats, we're doing flutter kicks. These are 2 count. So even though it says 50, you're technically doing 100. So for the flutter kicks, you'll be back on your back, lying flat. I like to kind of keep my hands underneath my butt. Engage your core and start lifting 1 foot at a time. Basically, your feet shouldn't touch the ground. You're just kicking in the air, just tiny little kicks. So every time that my right foot hits, I would count it as 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's what it means by 2 counts. We're not counting 1, 2, 3, 4. We're counting 1, 2. So I'm making 2 movements in order to count it as 1. You're welcome. So 50 of those. The last movement is side-to-side jumps over the PVC pipe. I'm probably, just for the sake of being afraid of slipping on this wood floor here, I'm going to do it on my yoga mat. These are really tiny jumps, so just make sure that you're doing them well. Make sure that you're keeping everything nice and engaged, standing up nice and tall, and you're literally just going to keep your feet together and just jump from side to side. So you can feel a little bit of a turn, basically just your lower body is moving each time. Just jumping over that back and forth 50 times. To count your side-to-side jumps, we're going to go ahead and count them coming back. You have to come back to wherever you started. So let's say I start on the left side, so I would count it as 1, 2, 3, 4. You've got to get back on that side that you started on. Okay? That's B, that's Metcon B, 50, 40, 30, 20, 10. All right, insert C. For insert C, this one's going to take a smidge bit longer, but the actual workout, the Metcon, is exactly 10 minutes and it's over. So I made this a smidge bit longer. I don't know what these are actually called. I've always called them Russian twists. That's what I thought they were, and then my brother said they were Romanian. I don't know. We're doing a twist. So basically, if you have anything, I mean, like a can of soup or a dumbbell, or you can use literally anything. Matthew suggested a rock, but kind of silly. Anyways, anything that you can find that just has a little bit of weight. You're going to start in an engaged V-up type position, basically, like you're already crunching. And then you need to take that weight, and basically what we're going to do are twists. So you'll count 1 touch to the left, 2 touch to the right. So the hard part is to actually keep moving and keep everything engaged to tap on either side, twisting your core back and forth that whole time. So 50 of those, that's the insert each time that it comes around today. Overhead squats are part of our Tabata as well as our warm-up. On C days, overhead squats with the PVC pipe are going to be a really great way just to force us into engaging our core, and we're going to legs a little bit and everything with our squats. So same as we did earlier, you want that pole, that PVC pipe, about where your hips break, where that crease is. You want it basically folded up in there when you bend over. That's how far apart your arms should be. We're going to lift it up overhead, and basically for 20 seconds until your timer runs out, you're literally going to engage your shoulders, nice strong core, and you're just going to squat all the way down, all the way up, all the way down, all the way up. And you can see just barely, just like I said on the squats for B days, on your squats you want to make sure that when you come up, that you are opening up your hips all the way. So make sure that you open up. I kind of pop there at the end, you can kind of see that. So you'll do 20 seconds, as many overhead squats as you can. Take your 10-second break, and then go straight into your plank hold for 20 seconds. Same thing as A days, nice strong core, keep everything straight, don't put your butt in the air, don't let your butt sink. So you want to hold yourself up a full 20 seconds. After the 20 seconds, you get your 10 seconds break, get your PVC pipe back into your overhead squats again. So that's your Tabata for C days. Our Metcon C is a quick little EMOM. So EMOM is every minute on the minute. So basically, we have 2 exercises we're going to do 5 times each, but we're going to do them back to back. So for this EMOM, on even minutes, you're going to complete 20 mountain climbers, and on odd minutes, you're going to complete 20 V-ups. I think it's enough time to complete them within a minute and still have a few seconds break. Especially if you do them unbroken, you should be able to get through them. So that's what we're going to try. If 20 is too many, obviously lower the number a bit. If you can do 12, great. You should be able to finish within 30 to 45 seconds, and then ideally have about 15 seconds rest at least. If you're taking breaks in between the mountain climbers, like you do 5 of them and then you have to stop, that's going to count towards your rest. So you really need to try to get them unbroken, finish in the first part of the minute, and then have the remaining part to rest and recuperate and prepare yourself for the next movement. So for mountain climbers, this one that's kind of hard to do in slow motion, I think. It's easier once you get into it. Basically, you're starting in that plank position up on your palms, that good strong core, straight back, straight everything. So for a mountain climber, you're basically going to jump and bring your foot forward, one forward at a time, the other one hangs back. And then in one swift movement, you switch to the other foot. So there should be one movement, that the right foot comes forward all the way, and the left foot gets sent back. So you're going 1, 2, 3, 4. And I totally counted those wrong. You're supposed to count every time that you bring your foot forward. Sorry, we're not doing 2 counts. So you should count them as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And again, on this, something that people tend to start doing is walking their feet closer and having their butt way up in the air. Your back foot really needs to go back to that position so that you're still basically in your plank every time that you switch. Again, no butt sagging. You don't want that knee in front of your toes. You want to keep up nice and engaged. No butt in the air, no butt sagging, right in the middle. Okay? So those are mountain climbers. After you finish your 20 mountain climbers, you get to rest for the rest of that minute. If you have 40 seconds left, you get 40 seconds rest. If it takes you 40 seconds to do it, then you only have 20 seconds rest. So try to do those unbroken without stopping. Odd minutes, we're going to do V-ups. So it's exactly what it sounds like. Laying on the ground, flat, and then creating a V shape with your body as best you can. Wait, no. She's not a good retriever. Move, Lay. Move. V-ups, I usually start with my arms up in the air. It just kind of helps guide me, I feel like, to actually creating a V. So for a V-up, you want to come up, lifting your feet and your arms and your back, and sitting up into a V shape for a brief moment. It doesn't have to last long. They're literally just like crunching and engaging that core, crunching and engaging that core. Just for that 1 second. And each one counts. So every time you come up, 2, 3, 4, 5. So hitting that V counts every single time. We're going to do 20 of those in a minute. After you finish the 20, then you get to break for the rest of the minute.